Cowboy Jim, I hope you're well. That sounds crazy, but I do. I have tried to do this particular video. This is the third attempt tonight. And it's yet, well, it's not early, but it's not late. And this video will be number, if I get through it, 89. And I was thinking that I would do a tribute to a couple of horses. And I'm pretty sure that that's exactly what will happen. No rabbit trails, no anything like that. And I remember the morning when I walked out of the house at the Olds overpass, half a mile north, west side of the road, little gray house that my dad, in his kindness, helped, I helped him build. It was my house, but he pretty much built it because I was working in the cabinet job, building kitchen cupboards, trying to pay for that little property. And I guess the joke is, at that point in time, the property was already paid for. And but I have a couple of stories that I'll head into, and we'll see how far we get. I somewhat am expecting a call, and I remember the morning that I left the house and headed for the cabinet job, and I saw Jadan. He was laying beside the water trough, and I kind of thought he looked a tad bit, shall we say, odd. And so I called his name, and I climbed the fence, and I walked over to see Jadan, who was half Arab and a fair bit of quarter horse, and he was laying dead beside the water trough. And I studied him, and the rest of the horses, they were not coming near to Jadan. And then I saw the blood and the hole in his chest, because some fatherless child had shot him. I had not heard the rifle shot at all. Probably that was God's kindness to me. I would have exacted a heavy price from whoever had killed my horse, which was also my son's horse, actually both sons, had shared that horse's life. I do not ever remember getting on that horse. And the reason for that was it wasn't necessary. The man who trained that horse, his name is Dan Taylor from Madden. Dan Taylor is, I hope still is, was a true Christian. And the job he did on training JERRIES and Big Jerry was totally noteworthy. And I had a hard time sorting through who, and well, initially, why would anyone kill our horse? I take things like that on a very personal level. So I did everything in my power to try to convince the person to come and take a shot, whether literally or figuratively. But I asked, would he please allow me the honor of introducing myself to him? And my God has an understanding of Irish people. And he certainly has an understanding of me. So I went on the local radio and I helped the veterinarian try to find that rifle bullet in JERRIES' body. And he was a good vet. Not motivated by money, I guarantee you. He and I worked for a few hours. Fortunately, my boys had gone to school and they weren't aware of what was going on. And that veterinarian and I butchered doing an autopsy, trying to verify the horse was really shot. Who does that to a horse? So I methodically set out to wreak vengeance on that person and failed miserably, because though I went on the local radio station and I took a written invite into the local newspaper, they would not print what I asked that person to do. And all I wanted, I guess, was to Well, in some small part, I wanted to understand why someone would kill a horse. A kid's horse, yes, but my horse as well. We'll call it our horse. Both of my boys loved that horse. Both my boys rode that horse. And as I said, I don't think I ever did. And I could not convince the person to make themselves known. I would not have turned them into the RCMP. Not initially. I've had the privilege this year of meeting a lady who I would gladly lay my life down for. Gladly. I have a fairly large heart. It's not enlarged, it's reflective of my nature. And it's pretty big. I do not believe that I ever figured out who, what, where, why, especially why. Why kill a horse in its prime? In anything. I have had a pretty pouty attitude about people who take their pets. A horse is not necessarily a pet. On a working ranch, it's kind of a functional piece of almost equipment, a necessity for large ranches, a necessity indispensable. I confess that JERRIES, to me, was as much a family member as I was a family member in our young family at that time. I could not reconcile the heart of anyone who would, and initially I thought it had to be they hated me, because I will never look beyond the confrontation of a problem without owning the potential that I may be the root cause. And I viewed every aspect of myself, and I could not come up with anyone who hated me that much. And I never found out why. Where was not hard. JERRIES had gone over to get a drink from the water trough, and some idiot had killed him. I'm pretty sure it was a 30-30, given the impact place. And I'm pretty sure JERRIES was looking at him, given that the point of entry was on the front of the chest. there's a saying, that something is so bad that it would almost cause a horse to puke. I have never seen a horse do that. I felt like doing that myself continually for quite a long time. I believe that when a person takes a pet to a vet, or a vet comes to their place, that if they really, truly want to terminate the life of a pet, they should be the one shoving the plunger on the needle or pulling the trigger. I think pets would live a lot older, and some would say suffer more. I'm pretty heart-filled with compassion for livestock, dogs. I think there would be a lot more horses living a lot longer if it were mandated, not by the government. I don't even like the government, but if people had enough guts to kill their own horses, I don't think there would be as many horses die. So, shall we say, not a very cheery subject, pretty hard-pressed to get any morality out of this. I never did find out who killed JERRIES. I'm glad I didn't. I don't hate anyone. I don't need to. I don't understand. I don't understand taking any life. I don't even really like shooting moose. I do. I don't like it. I do not think that I could shoot my own horse unless it were in agony. Don't. So, hey, I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you that little short story because I haven't thought about it. That was 1988. I haven't thought about that for a long time. I'm kind of glad of that. I'm going to wrap this up pretty quickly. And I hope in my heart that I don't ever think about this, about JERRIES again. But I know that I will, because I know that I've allowed myself once again to feel compassion and passion, perhaps, for one of God's creations, created critters. And I have not had occasion to think about this, but I know Brown Boy was killed without really knowing whether he were sick or not. And I listened to Chris Stapleton sing that song, Run, Maggie, Run. And I sing along poorly, but heartfelt. And I do believe, and I'm over the 20 minutes, I guess that's the way it's going to be. I do believe that critters have souls, spirit, definitely personalities. And I want that person, if you're still alive, who killed Judean Olds Overpass, I believe it was 1988, I want you to know that I forgive you. I also want you to know you guard who you are. Because that would be a wise choice, son. Judean was indeed, truly, a good horse. I never rode him. I hope that God will give me the opportunity in eternity to, if not ride him, to give him a hug. God bless. And sorry about the heartfelt sadness that I honestly portrayed.